Good afternoon, everyone. As you know, we in Harrisburg have been having an issue with fireworks being set off into all hours of the night, greatly inconveniencing residents, pet owners, really everyone. It's a quality of life issue. And I wanted to start by reminding everyone that fireworks are illegal to set off in virtually every corner of the city. It is impossible to do it without staying clear of domestic residences as well as public spaces. And it's become a real problem, not just in Harrisburg, but really throughout Pennsylvania, in other cities. They're struggling with this issue as well, and indeed throughout the country. We've been working with the fire chief to try and come up with creative solutions for this issue. And one of the things that we've come up with is a proposal to have a controlled fireworks display that will happen on Friday night, July 3rd, at 4 locations throughout the Harrisburg community. If you do have fireworks, we ask that you consider not letting them off any time leading up to the 3rd or in an unsafe manner, but rather bringing them out and joining us in the fire department at these locations on Friday, July 3rd, where we'll have professionals there to assist and we'll have a safe and positive event. Again, this is from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Friday, July 3rd. Come out, bring your fireworks to one of 4 locations. We have Sunshine Park, we have 7th and Radnor, the playground there. We have Reservoir Park, which is going to be located right near the basketball courts. And we have our newest park or green space in Harrisburg, the South 14th Street former sinkhole area, which is now a green space. So we have the South Side, Central Allison Hill, Uptown, and other locations all available for this on the 3rd. This is a partnership with the Harrisburg Fire Department. And I want to thank as well the local nonprofit All You Can Incorporated and Ralph Rodriguez for suggesting this idea and really getting us to thinking about how if we planned a controlled event, it would be safer for everyone and it might cut down on some of the nuisance fireworks that we're having. In addition to that, I want to remind residents to please don't call the police to report fireworks unless it's a life-threatening incident. What we'd like to do instead is to have you call 311 and to report to 311 the location and the type of firework that you've witnessed. We are going to then take that data and we're going to do GIS mapping in the city of Harrisburg, and we'll share that data with you. And that map is then going to help inform our educational outreach efforts as well as our enforcement efforts, and it's something that we're going to work very closely with the fire department on. And again, another community group I'd like to thank are the Young Professionals of Color, and they came to the city proposing this GIS mapping idea, which I thought was a great idea. So we're going to combine these 2 initiatives, both a controlled local fireworks night, again, July 3rd, Friday, 7 to 10 at 4 locations in Harrisburg, as well as a new GIS mapping initiative, which is going to hopefully help us curtail the nuisance of fireworks that are going on in the community really every night and have been going on now for some time. So thanks again to All You Can Incorporated, to the Young Professionals of Color. They will also help us get the word out for these 2 important initiatives. And a special thanks to the Harrisburg Fire Department, which is going to actually supervise these controlled fireworks locations, as well as continue our efforts to make sure that everyone is both safe, socially distant, but is also handling fireworks with the care that they deserve. And I want to turn things over now to Chief Brian Enterline.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, everyone. We are excited to partner together and kind of bring some resolution or a solution to some of the fireworks issues that we've seen across Harrisburg. We need to only look back, a year in our history to see after these fireworks were legalized in the state of Pennsylvania, how bad they really affected our cities. Harrisburg, we had 3 or 4 fires in a matter of 2 or 3 days over the 4th of July weekend last year. My colleagues in fire departments across Pennsylvania saw tens of thousands of dollars of property damage with fireworks that were now legal, unfortunately being set off illegally. And just as a reminder to residents both in Harrisburg and throughout Pennsylvania, the state law that was passed that legalized fireworks, the sale of fireworks and the purchase of fireworks, did not allow you to just set those off anywhere. There's certain laws, you can't set them off from moving vehicles and things like that. But the most important is that you be 150 foot from an occupied building. And that is the struggle that we see in Harrisburg and we see throughout central Pennsylvania and the Commonwealth. And so this idea to do a controlled night on large parks in the city will give residents an opportunity to not only go out and buy legally fireworks, but come and set them off and have a great time as a community together. I believe this is a great community building activity as we pick certain areas of the city where we can congregate, obviously social distance, and we'll maintain that social distancing in these large parks. And hopefully this will curtail some of the issues that the fire department and the police department as well has faced throughout the last several years as these fireworks were made legal by order of the state. So we're very excited. A couple of safety tips that I want to give today, making sure that if you are out there and you're going to set fireworks off and you have the space to do it, that you're 18 years or older to ignite fireworks. And these are the rules that we're going to also follow at our 4 parks. You may not be under the influence of alcohol, controlled substances, or any other drugs. And an important thing is that the fireworks must be consumer grade. Those are the ones that you can buy legally in the fireworks stores, not display fireworks, which are only for professionally licensed pyrotechnicians. And we have seen some of those show up on occasion throughout the city. Those will not be permitted to be set off at our 4 locations in Harrisburg. So we're hoping that we can help our residents build a little bit of community with setting off fireworks in a controlled location, and we are excited to see the results.
Thank you, Chief, and thanks again to the fire department for working with us on this. I think it'll be a great opportunity. So again, if you're watching and if you have fireworks, please save them until the night of Friday, July 3rd. Come out to one of the 4 parks where the fire department and others will be gathered, and let's do it together safely, and let's give our residents a break who really are having trouble sleeping and having trouble dealing with the constant illegal discharge of fireworks in the city on a regular basis. And if you do continue to hear fireworks again, call 311. That's the city communication line. That's all you have to do. If you leave a location and a type of firework, we will then use that data to map it, and we'll get a better sense of how pervasive this is, whether or not there's a concentration in certain areas of the city and others as we move forward. So with that, I turn it over to the media and Momin for moderating any questions.
Mayor Alex with ABC 27. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Good afternoon. Just a quick question about the one line you talked about with calling 311 instead of 911 to get police. For folks who are agitated by constant noise and are worried that compiling data is going to take way too long to address an issue that maybe police could end tonight if they showed up, what's kind of your response to that? Is that GIS tracking going to take too long to address immediate issues?
No, my response is that this is not the type of response that we want to put upon our police department. What you're going to have is you're going to have police being called out, potentially arriving on scene with, without a trace of who set off the fireworks, or potentially the opposite, actually encountering somebody who's setting off fireworks, they run away, there's a chase. I don't think that's the right approach, especially in the current climate and with the limited capacity that our police department has. I think the right approach is to educate people, to get the message out that setting off these fireworks is essentially illegal in the city of Harrisburg because of the proximity to occupied structures and public spaces, but to give people an alternative for legally setting off fireworks, which is what we're trying to do. Now, this is a new initiative. I don't know of other locations that are doing this, but perhaps they'll look to Harrisburg and perhaps it will be successful, but we're calling upon people able to save up those fireworks and come out and do them safely with supervision of the Harrisburg Fire Department. And Friday, July 3rd sounds like a very good date to do that. And then, of course, on July 4th, there will be city-sponsored fireworks over the Susquehanna. Now, the mapping, as you say, actually can start taking place instantaneously. If we can get people to call in with locations, with good locations and types of fireworks, I think you're going to find that the mapping becomes a very useful tool, which is something that the fire chief and others can use to really understand how pervasive things are and maybe get at the nature of who's supplying these fireworks and potentially limit the use of these fireworks through good detective work that can be done from such a map. So that map isn't necessarily going to take a long time. If we can get people to call 311, it will both save policing efforts and allow us to sort of focus on utilizing the rest of our staff. So we've got a good GIS mapping team, and we've got a great fire department, and you put those two things together and you've got a powerful new tool which you don't have currently.
Just a quick follow-up, Mayor, if I could, just
Sure.
about those locations. People can just show up on the 3rd. They have to sign up or anything.
No, they don't need to show up. They don't need to sign up. They can just show up. We're going to have the fire department located at those 4 sites. Again, I'll say them again. It's Sunshine Park, which is right there on Cameron Street and Her. You've got 7th and Radnor. You've got Reservoir Park near the basketball courts, and you've got the former sinkhole site at South 14th Street. So these are large sites that are distant from homes. They are spread out sort of equally throughout various neighborhoods of the city. Spent a long time working with Chief Enterline to make sure that we could have sites that didn't require a great deal of travel for Harrisburg residents. And people can just show up. The fire department will be there with proper oversight and proper tools to keep to collect the waste and to make sure that everything is done safely. I think it's a great initiative, a good partnership, and I hope that people watching will get that message, which is if you've got fireworks at home, save them up. Don't set them off tonight or tomorrow or the next night. Save them up to the 3rd, and we'll enjoy them all together legally, because you can set them in a public park with the permission of the city, and that's essentially what we're granting for these 4 locations on July 3rd.
Mayor, thank you so much. My question is a little off topic, so just bear with me here for a second. We're covering the council last night with the community advisory, or the citizen advisory committee for the legislation. Just want to get your thoughts on that, whether you think it's enough and whether or not you think that the committee itself should have subpoena power more so than just being an advisory committee.
Yeah. My opinion is that it's a great step in the right direction, and it's going to help us build momentum and have greater accountability for our police moving forward. It is currently a proposed bill that City Council will be debating and hearing from the public on. The next opportunity to give public comment is going to be this Tuesday at the City Council workshop session. That is over Zoom, but the Communications Department will send out the information for that meeting. And the public is welcome to make suggestions about what they would like to see on this board. My general opinion is that there is great benefit to creating an advisory board, and if we get that board started and it proves to be successful and does a good job of spotlighting the police department and making sure that there's good dialogue between the community and the police, that we can then build on that over time. So it's a step in the right direction for sure.
Okay, so subpoena power right away, you're not in support of that right away off the top?
I don't think they need to have subpoena power right out of the gate to be an effective board. I think that there's a lot to be said about holding both elected officials and the police department accountable in the public sphere. They can do that without subpoena power. I'm not saying that subpoena power is a bad idea. I'm saying that this is a step towards a functioning board, which we currently don't have in Harrisburg, and we should embrace moving in that direction and potentially start in one place and let it develop over time.
Thank you.
I want to introduce Kamika Campbell, who is on the Zoom call. I can't see you, Kamika, but she and her group, the Young Professionals of Color, were going to assist in the outreach for this GIS mapping effort. And if she'd like to say something, that'd be fine.
Thank you so much. I want to say two things. I want to respond to our faithful folks in the press who just asked that question, and say the GIS data. There's two things happening here that I think the mayor and I discussed yesterday, and one of them is we want to start educating the populace on when you call 311 and when you call 911. That's the first thing. The second thing is we also want to use that GIS data to give information back to the community. Because what's happening right now is folks are experiencing this as it is always something that's happening all around them and they're not sure where it is. So making sure that people are better informed is really important about where the fireworks are happening, and having a dedicated community approach to that. So that's the first thing. The second thing, and the question for the mayor was, and I asked you this yesterday, so not a surprise or gotcha question at all, but will we be having a dedicated social media outreach for this? Because I do know that social media is one of the best ways to reach people regarding these kinds of things. And of course, we lend our support to that as the Young Professionals of Color. We will support whatever you want to do or whatever you want us to do as far as getting this word out on social media. I've already started just saying happening now, press release, please call 911. But we wanted to know if there were going to be any graphics or any other social media dedicated resources to disseminating that information.
Yeah, thanks, Kamika. That's great. And this is just the start. We wanted to kick it off with a press conference. We didn't want to wait any longer than possible, in part because this has been going on every night, and people are justifiably really upset about this. It's a quality of life issue for many residents of the city, and we wanted to make sure that people knew that as soon as possible that we are planning some alternatives here that we think are going to help the situation. But after the press conference, we're going to develop a flyer. We're going to work with Momin and his team. We'll circulate that flyer. We'll put it on all the different social media platforms, and we'll continue to talk about this all the way leading up until the 3rd and the 4th. And then, as it continues, we will make the GIS data public. We'll work with the chief and the fire department, and we will continue this sort of public information campaign as long as we need to. And you're absolutely right. Part of this is trying to encourage people to realize there is a real difference between 911 and calling the police for an emergency, which is really a life-threatening or very serious situation, and a quality of life nuisance situation, which is what these fireworks generally are. And that's where calling 311, I think, is a more appropriate use of resources. And I promise that this is going to be, I think, a very effective tool in dealing with this issue, a more effective tool than just simply calling 911 and the police. If Ralph is on the line, I also referenced All You Can Incorporated, which is a local nonprofit organization which does a lot of good work in the community. And I wanted to give him a shout out, but also a chance to speak, because it was Ralph who came to me last weekend and talked about doing a sort of controlled fireworks event, which is what I then brought immediately to Chief Enterline. So, Ralph, you want to talk about how you can help us get the word out for this and make sure that people take advantage of what we have planned for July 3rd?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
All right. I'd just like to start off by saying thank you to the wonderful city of Harrisburg, and of course the mayor and his administrative team, the fire chief, and all the wonderful firefighters of the city, as well as the young professionals of color. I'm happy that we were able to collaborate with active organizers and create real solutions to our ongoing issue. As the mayor said, it's not really just local, it's a national issue. So to be able to give our citizens a place where they can go celebrate safely, just for the 4th of July. We know no 4th of July will be complete without fireworks, but a lot of citizens have been complaining due to the noise ordinance. There is an ordinance in place that restricts fireworks from so many X amount of feet from a structure. So we want to try to respect that throughout the city and homeowners. So why not create a space in all areas of the city, out the south, uptown, etc., and have the people a beautiful place on the 3rd where we can celebrate. So I just wanted to say that and encourage everyone to stop by July 3rd from 7 to 10, Sunshine Park, 7th and excuse me, 7th and Ratner Playground, Reservoir by the Courts, and of course the South Side Green area. And if there are any incidents or accidents, feel free to call 311 and let the proper people know. But thank you, Mayor. Thank you, City. And I look forward to this initiative. And just like Kamika said, any social media posts, we can definitely push that, get the word out to the citizens. We have great followings, as well as get out here and meet the citizens, talk to the people, and let them know we have a great initiative. Myself and my organization, we're not afraid to stop by and even talk to some people we do see lighting fireworks and let them know, hey, you know, we do have something we're working on. Because everyone talks about where's the solutions, where's the resolutions. If you want us to stop doing this, where's the solution for it? So we felt it was important to collaborate and provide that for everyone. So thank you, everyone, and I look forward to seeing you on the 3rd.
Yeah, thank you, Ralph. And that's absolutely what this is about. It's about solutions. It's about building relations between the fire department, the city, and the community that we serve. And it's about trying to put good ideas into practice. That's what we're attempting to do here to solve a problem which is really perplexing to a lot of different communities throughout the country and throughout Pennsylvania. So thank you all for watching. Appreciate you coming, and hope you can help spread the word about the new GIS mapping initiative as well as the new controlled fireworks celebration for the night of Friday, July 3rd.